We are standing in the heart of Brescia, a city in northern Italy that many people pass through without a second thought. But for motorsport fans, this street is different. It's a place of legend. Right here, in Piazza della Vittoria, from 1927 to 1957, one of the most daring and iconic road races in history began and ended. The Mille Miglia. 1,000 miles to Rome and back.
The race was born in a time of optimism and change. Italy in the 1920s was still recovering from the First World War, and automobiles were becoming symbols of progress, freedom, and modernity. A group of Brescia racing enthusiasts wanted to prove that Italians could build cars capable of both endurance and speed, so they created a race unlike any other. Open roads, towns and villages along the route, challenging terrain, and thousands of spectators lining the streets.
The Mille Miglia wasn't just about speed. It was a national spectacle. Towns along the route emptied, schools closed, and the country held its breath for the 1,000 miles ahead. This was Italy on the move, a celebration of engineering, skill, and the thrill of the road.
Today we are here to visit the place that keeps that legend alive, the Mille Miglia Museum, recently renamed to Museo Auto Storiche Brescia. And before we step inside, take a moment to look around. This is no ordinary museum. We are standing inside the ancient Benedictine monastery of Sant Eufemia della Fonte, founded in the year 1008. More than 1,000 years of history, right here on the edge of Brescia.
The choice of this place was no accident. It was rescued after decades of decline. But more importantly, it carries deep symbolic meaning. The Mille Miglia was never just a race. Its route, from Brescia to Rome and back, reflected something greater. Rome, the eternal city, was the turning point, the soul of the journey. Opening this museum here feels almost inevitable.
It opened in 2004 after a major restoration led by the Friends of the Mille Miglia. Today, it houses one of the finest collections of racing cars in the world.
And then you step through, and the first thing that stops you is this. A monumental board stretching across the entrance, listing every car and driver that ever won the Mille Miglia. From the very first edition in 1927 to the last in 1957.
24 editions, 24 winners. Names that read like a who's who of golden era motorsport. Nuvolari, Varzi, Biondetti, Fangio, Taruffi, Moss.
The extraordinary thing isn't just the names, it's the diversity of the machines. Tiny Italian factory cars in the early years, Alfa Romeos and Ferraris in the 30s and 40s, and then, in the final years, the German manufacturers arrived, and everything changed.
This board is your orientation. It tells the story you were about to walk through. And among all the entries, one stands apart. One man, one car, one drive. May 1st, 1955. Stirling Moss, just 25, climbed into a Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR, race number 722 after his 7:22 a.m. start, alongside co-driver Dennis Jenkinson. Over the next 10 hours, they completed 992 miles of narrow Italian roads, through mountain passes, blind crests, and cobblestone towns at an average speed of 97.96 miles per hour. Nearly 100 miles per hour. For 10 hours straight. His final time, 10 hours, 7 minutes, and 48 seconds. A record never matched, never beaten. 2 years later, in 1957, the Mille Miglia was banned following a fatal accident near Guidizzolo. The race was gone. Moss's record remained untouchable. And here's where the story reaches another level. The sister car to Moss's winning 300 SLR, the ultra-rare closed-roof Uhlenhaut Coupé, one of only 2 ever built, was sold at a secret, invitation-only auction at the Mercedes-Benz Museum in Stuttgart in May 2022. The hammer fell at 135 million euros, 143 million US dollars. The most expensive car ever sold in history. Not Moss's actual race car, which Mercedes keeps as a sacred treasure, but its sibling. A reminder of just how mythic this moment in automotive history truly is. And now, the cars. Let's walk the collection. The museum is laid out chronologically, with 7 sections covering the race from 1927 to 1957. These are not replicas. They are the real machines, loaned by collectors and families. Starting with a glimpse into the smaller classes, the Fiat Balilla 508S, Coppa d'Oro, 1935, shows how even a 995 cubic centimeter engine with 20 horsepower and a top speed of 85 kilometers per hour could make its mark. Just 990 kilograms, it raced fiercely in its class, proving that every victory mattered.
From there, the spotlight shifts to the Fiat 1100e Special, Musona, 1950. A modest 4-cylinder producing 40 horsepower, top speed 110 kilometers per hour, weighing 825 kilograms, yet adorned by Italy's finest coach builders, turning practicality into style and competition.
Next, innovation takes the stage with the Ermini Siluro, 1950. Siluro means torpedo, and its aerodynamic body hints at engineering ahead of its time. A twin-cam 1,100 cubic centimeters engine, 24 kilowatts. Small, yet striking, this car is post-war Italy's bold statement. Looking back to the origins, the Fiat 501 Torpedo from 1924 demonstrates the roots of Italian motoring. With a 1,460 cubic centimeter 4-cylinder, 23 horsepower, top speed 70 kilometers per hour, and 900 kilograms, it's the car that truly put Italy on the road. Jumping to the late 1930s, the Fiat 1500 6-cylinder blends elegance and performance. Its smooth inline-6, producing 33 kilowatts, made it a grand touring machine, modern for its time. Across the border, the Bugatti Type 23, 1923, embodies French craftsmanship. Light at 610 kilograms, its 1,496 cubic centimeters engine delivers 35 horsepower and 120 kilometers per hour, perfectly capturing Ettore Bugatti's blend of elegance and speed. Italy's tiny powerhouse, the Fiat 500A Topolino, 1938, follows. A mere 569 cubic centimeters and 16.5 horsepower, 500 kilograms, yet raced with pride in the Mille Miglia, proving every driver and class had its moment. Then comes the Porsche 356 Speedster, 1955, marking the start of a new era. Its 1,488 cubic centimeters flat 4, 70 horsepower, and 180 kilometers per hour top speed, weighing 762 kilograms, demonstrated Stuttgart's mastery in a car that could run with the best. Italian ingenuity shines again with the Fiat Benedictine 1100 Sport, 1949. A tuned 1,089 cubic centimeter engine producing 51 horsepower, top speed 150 kilometers per hour, it showcases what could be achieved on a familiar platform through creativity and engineering skill. Turning to pure performance, the Alfa Romeo Conrero Sport 2000, 1953, makes a statement. A 1,996 cubic centimeter 4-cylinder delivering 110 horsepower in just 480 kilograms. A weapon designed for speed and precision. In a lighter moment, the Iso Isetta of 1954 and Iso Caro of 1955 bring charm and ingenuity. Microcars with tiny engines, 9.5 horsepower and 330 kilograms, they prove post-war Italy could be clever, practical and inventive all at once. From Britain, the Triumph TR2 1954 asserts itself. A 1,991 cubic centimeter 4-cylinder, 95 horsepower, top speed 177 km per hour and 969 kilograms, representing England's sports car spirit on Italian roads. Finally, the Fiat 1500 Sport 1937 closes this segment. With a 1,493 cubic centimeters inline-six, 45 horsepower, top speed 115 kilometers per hour, weighing 1,000 kilograms, it elegantly bridges the touring cars of the pre-war era with the competition machines that would dominate post-war races. As we move deeper into the 1950s gallery, you'll notice one mark appears again and again, more than almost any other: Lancia, a brand synonymous with innovation and competition in post-war Italy. In this decade, Lancia was redefining what a sports car could be, introducing models that blended advanced engineering, stylish design, and real racing pedigree. One standout is the Lancia Aurelia, one of the first production cars ever fitted with a V6 engine, a bold technical leap in the early 1950s, and a car that proved its mettle on road and track alike. You'll also find rare Lancia sports races from this period that illustrate just how far the company pushed performance. Lancia's racing effort brought cars like the D24 to international stages, with powerful V6 engines and lightweight aerodynamic bodies designed to take on the toughest endurance events of the era. Amid these Italian champions sits a very different but equally iconic roadster from Germany, the Mercedes-Benz 190 SL. Launched in the mid-1950s, this elegant convertible brought a new kind of grace to sports cars. With a smooth 1.9-litre engine, refined suspension, and stylish lines inspired by its bigger sibling, the 300 SL, it bridged the gap between luxury and sporting performance, earning its place in both road and racing history. Together, these cars capture the spirit of the 1950s, a decade when post-war optimism and technical daring fused to create machines that were as beautiful as they were fast, and helped shape the future of motorsport and automotive design. And now we step into a room that feels completely different from the rest of the museum. Here, the story isn't about racing. It's about a father, a son, and a misunderstanding that lasted years. This is the Bonera Room, inaugurated on April 8, 2014. Carlo Bonera founded Brescia's historic Mercedes-Benz dealership in 1969. Over decades, alongside running his business, he quietly assembled an extraordinary personal collection. 5 Mercedes-Benz cars of exceptional quality and originality. When Carlo passed away at the end of 2012, he left the cars to his son, Francesco. Carlo had long believed Francesco didn't care about the cars. In truth, Francesco had held back out of respect. These cars were his father's pride, his life's work, and he felt it wasn't his place to interfere. For years, Carlo feared they might be sold after his passing. Francesco did not sell them. Instead, he donated all 5 permanently to the museum, ensuring they remain forever on display in a room bearing his father's name. First among these treasures is the Mercedes-Benz 300S Cabriolet, one of just 560 built between 1952 and 1955. A 2,996 cubic centimeter inline-six producing 150 horsepower, with hydraulic brakes and a 4-speed gearbox, this was Mercedes at its most refined. A grand tourer for heads of state and connoisseurs, embodying the elegance that had also dominated the Mille Miglia just miles away. Then there is the 300 SL Gullwing Coupé, an icon of the 1950s. Produced from 1954 to 1957, 1,400 examples built, 29 in all aluminium. Its 2,996 cubic centimeters inline-six produces 215 horsepower, reaching top speeds between 235 and 260 kilometers per hour. Those signature gullwing doors were structural, not stylistic, part of a tubular frame designed for stiffness and lightness. This particular example is untouched, unrestored, its patina telling the story of a life fully lived. Beside it sits the open-top 300 SL Roadster, built from 1957 to 1963. 1,858 examples made, The same engine, same horsepower, now paired with an open body and optional wraparound hardtop. From 1961, disc brakes added modern safety without sacrificing style. Slightly heavier than the Gullwing, yet arguably even more beautiful under the Italian sun. The fourth car, the 300B Adenauer, offers a contrast. Named for West German Chancellor Konrad Adenauer, it is not a sports car but a statement of prestige. Heavy, dignified, supremely engineered, it represents the other face of Mercedes-Benz in the post-war era. That Bonera chose to collect it alongside the Gullwing speaks to the depth of his passion. Finally, the 280 SL Pagoda, produced from 1963 to 1971, nearly 24,000 built. A 6-cylinder with mechanical fuel injection, 170 horsepower, 5-speed manual or 4-speed automatic. Its concave hardtop, the Pagoda, remains one of the most elegant rooflines ever drawn. This example is virtually untouched, a pristine finale to a lifetime devoted to one brand, and one that perfectly embodies the Bonera family's devotion to Mercedes-Benz. Walking through the museum is far from a passive experience. Each of the 9 sections is staged like a living theatre, with period backdrops, archival photos, and ambient sound that place you on the side of a winding Italian road in 1932, or inside a Brescia garage at 3 in the morning in 1950, watching mechanics work by torchlight. The museum also safeguards one of the most important automotive archives in the world, with roughly 130,000 documents from the race's original organization, fully digitized. Registration cards, correspondence with manufacturers, starting grids, press clippings. The institutional memory of 30 years of road racing history. Walking these halls, it's impossible not to feel the weight of what happened here. The lives risked, the machines that raced, and the legend that endures. Now, if you'll excuse me while you hit subscribe to the channel, I'm heading next door to the restaurant to enjoy a well-deserved beer. See you on the next one.